Right, so what are we doing?
We got Death's Door, we got fighting game, some roast beef, some chicken,
a pizza.
We need something spicy. Thanksgiving overrated. Just have it be the death photo, but a turkey over Colt's head, dude. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the HGO podcast. I am your host for today, Ethan, and as always, I am joined by my good friends Hunter and Kyle. Hey guys, how are you doing?
I'm doing just as well.
Yeah.
Good enough. Been kind of a slow week for.
It's been
for
so
us.
slow.
It is
dude.
so slow.
I mean,
but
yeah, you guys have had Thankmas, whatever the fuck you guys do over there. I don't know.
Thankful,
Have fun,
yeah.
well done.
now that Thanksgiving is over, Kyle's Christmas tree back there is socially acceptable.
I mean, in my eyes, it was
Yeah, just
socially
for that,
acceptable as soon as my birthday was over. So it's been fine
Just
in
for
my
that.
book.
This is gonna stay up a week after Christmas.
Hell
Just
yeah.
to screw with both of you.
Maybe
I
make
mean,
it two.
Fair enough. Dude, that's not doing anything. My mom
Going into January, if you keep complaining.
My mom leaves the Christmas decorations up for like months sometimes.
Oh, so
Man.
you complain when Kyle's a couple of weeks early, but then your mum's just sitting there going, we're going to be here in March, still having a Christmas tree.
Yes.
Granted,
There you go.
I did this like the day after Halloween ended,
Yeah.
which is
True.
early even for me.
Yeah, that's like a Walt Disney World kind of setup right there, you know?
I just like the lights.
Yeah, that's kind of like what they do at Disney when it's like Halloween's over quickly the night after the Christmas tree up. There we go. It's now Christmas season. Buy your Christmas tickets, bitch. But yeah, welcome back to the HGO podcast, where every week we try and talk about games. There's not much this week, but we'll try and get through it.
We'll do what we can.
Yeah, we'll try and do what we can. I mean, I have a new mic. That's a thing. Wow, joining Hunter with the Wave 3 gang. So rest in
Joining
peace,
Kyle.
I have the other one.
Oh yeah,
Joining,
no, Hunter
joining
has.
Kyle with the
Yeah,
Wave 3 gang.
That's true, because Hunter has the fucking light up magic one, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
I
got
do.
the red boy.
Yeah, he has the
Yeah.
red boy. Sorry, Kyle.
Which
Joining
is funny
Kyle on the
because
Wave 3 boy.
Jacob has that same microphone Hunter has. So if we ever get him back on the show,
Hey, offers
we'd be
open.
like
Bring him
microphone
on.
buddies.
We'll have microphone
Yeah.
wars. Yeah, be like,
That'll be how Mario Party decides the teams for the mini games. Is what
Oh
brand
my
of
God.
microphone
based on the
we
brand of
have.
mic we have. Yeah.
Well, Jack uses a fucking like Apple headphone jack. So
that's why I don't let him on the podcast anymore.
You have to just take quotes from him. Take
Yeah.
a statement for Pokemon now.
Yeah, and my current statement is, I'm a fucking bitch. I bought a second copy instead of Mario Party. That's the current quote I have. So, you know.
Legit, the day before Ethan and I were bullying him to buy Mario Party, he said he didn't have money. And then the day after on Twitter, he posted he bought Pokemon Pearl.
Yeah.
Like,
And I was like, but get your clown
Legit,
makeup
the
on,
day
dude.
after,
Like,
Hunter.
literally, you're
I
such a
don't
dumbass.
understand.
I woke
No.
up to Ethan making fun of him on Twitter, and I'm like, he is all is right with the world right now.
I don't use my Twitter as much as I used to, but bullying friends is always still a top priority whenever I'm on there. But yeah, welcome back to the show where we talk about games every Monday at 6 p.m. US time, usually, I think, is when we go out now. I
6
don't know.
6
PM US time.
I think it's
6 p.m.
it's
UK
more like-
time, 1
yeah.
p.m. Eastern. That's it.
Yeah,
Close enough. Potato.
a US time.
Like, damn.
Like all of America is in
Dude,
the
it's already
same
quarter
time
past 2
zone.
when we're starting recording this. It's like, I'm already out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you can find
It's
us on
only
the
going
podcast.
to go up
services.
from here.
Yeah, you can find us on podcast services by searching for Hot Games Only, or head to youtube.com/Hot Games Only when you can look at our stupid faces each and every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Death's Door finally arriving on every console that isn't an Xbox. Project L from Riot is a thing. Are they taking one, though? We'll talk about it in a little bit. Kyle has been playing a Final Fantasy VI Romhack, so I hope you guys are as excited as I am to hear all about it, because we're going to go ham with that.
Like I said, slow week.
Slow week, and then trust me, it gets slower as I wrap up the week by talking about how shit Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memories trophy list is a year late, and talking about how poo-poo the Call of Duty campaign is for Vanguard, Fire Bobby Kotick, you know, the classics. I'm sure we'll be talking about all of it on the show. So I guess we'll start with Death's Door, because my throat is dry and Hunter can talk about this. So Death's Door's finally here, Hunter.
It sure is, and I managed to play all of it in just the couple of days it's been out.
For people
Well,
who don't know what it is, what is it?
it's like an isometric 3D beat 'em up with like Zelda influences as far as how you're
Ah,
traversing the dungeons and stuff.
neat.
You play as a little crow who's a reaper sent off to collect souls. The game starts, you get sent on assignments, and right before you can collect the soul of the thing you were supposed to, reap, you get bonked on the head by an older crow who his assignment escaped him, and he's just been growing old and hasn't been able to go back because his assignment wasn't done. So he needed the little crow's help to open the death's door, as it were, to go
Ah,
and get the soul that he was supposed to get back.
Yeah, because a little plot point is while they're in the other world, I don't know what world it is. While they're in the world getting the soul, they age. That's the thing,
Yeah,
isn't it?
they age and can
Yeah,
die and whatnot. And when you're in, I don't know, Crowland, I guess,
yeah,
you are immortal.
yeah. When you're in the mortal realm, you age like a mortal, and then when you go back to Crowville, you're back to raving all day and
Crowville.
all night, having mad sessions till 5 a.m., having no effect on you because you're just vibing. You know,
Yeah.
that's the kind of game Death's Door is. Um, so this game got like a lot of love when it
It
initially came
sure
out on
did,
Xbox.
man.
And can you see why?
Um, yeah, it's pretty well made. Like, as far as the gameplay goes, I would describe it as pretty simple, but very well done. Like, you got your basic light and heavy attacks, and then you got your magic that is the bow and arrow, and then you get more stuff later on L2 and circle. I don't know why it's L2. You have to push it first and then circle instead of just being circle. That's a bit weird to me. But uh, aside from that, yeah, simple but effective. You can upgrade a few stats, but it's not anything too crazy. Just, hit harder, attack faster,
Classic.
charge your magic quicker. Nothing too ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the kind of upgrade tree you can kind of expect from these kind of like smaller, kind of isometric, sometimes 2D kind of. I don't know what to call this genre of game, right? Because the instant comparison that I saw people make to Death's Door, which they did for they do for everything. They do it for Hollow Knight. They do it for everything. Is they go straight to the Dark Souls tree and they start shaking that fucker and seeing when Insane Trilogy comes out because they do it
Yeah.
every time, right? Oh
This
look,
game is not as hard as Dark Souls.
yeah,
It's I like okay, so the level design kind of reminded me of Bloodborne in just the way it looped back on itself, but that's also like something you could say about Zelda
hmm,
games that are 2D and all that.
yeah,
But it's definitely not as hard as Dark Souls. Like you can upgrade your magic and health by finding, vitality crystals. Four pieces makes a new one or a new upgrade and all that. I didn't do any of that. I didn't find a full version of any of those. So I beat the game without upgrading my health at all. And it
nice.
wasn't like a Herculean task or anything. Sure, I died a few times, but, I didn't feel like I was behind the eight ball or whatever for it.
Yeah, because I feel like that's the like. If there's one thing that I hate at the moment about just gaming everything right now, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's articles, whether it's anything, is comparing things to Dark Souls. It's the thing that I hate. It's why I don't play. Haven't played. I've only played Bloodborne this year, right? Was because I was
Yeah.
so sick of people going Insane Trilogy, the Dark Souls of platformers. Death's Door, the Dark Souls of isometric hack and slash weird little crow games. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like, can we get any more
Oddly
specific with these
specific.
comparisons? Yeah, it's crazy because to me, it doesn't look basically any game that's difficult with bosses in it is now apparently Dark Souls, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this? Like, can we stop? Because
There are, there aren't even that many bosses in it.
no, there isn't. Because when I
There's
like
like
Dark Souls
four
is
or
essentially a
five.
boss rush. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a weird comparison for me for them to make, and I personally hate it because it kind of detracts from the game, especially when it's a smaller game, because you're just always gonna have that comparison. So now, whenever I look something up like Death's Door, which is a smaller game from a smaller studio, all I'm gonna see is fucking people comparing it to Dark Souls, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, I
Yeah.
want to know what
And
this
it's like,
game is. You know, I don't let me know what it is and how well it does what it does. Like, I don't want to know what comparison you want to make it to another game that everybody's fucking played. We've all played Dark Souls. Stop making the comparison. Or we've played a Souls game.
Yeah.
Except for Kyle, because he's so. Me and Hunter sitting on our high horses after playing one just this year.
You only
The
need
closest
one.
I'd get would be Sekiro, but
Just-
even then I feel
Just
no
like we're just
motivation
like
to
this.
want to
We're
play
like
it.
looking down on you. We're like, get good, Kyle.
There's a
good.
reason you're on the bottom row in the Discord call.
Aw,
It's true.
I hate the alphabet, dude.
Mhm.
I'm changing my name
man.
to A Kyle next week.
A Kyle.
Kyle.
A Kyle. Ah. Project
Yeah, dude,
A
I want that-
Kyle.
I want that top left slot, Ethan. Even though
I'll
you
still
can just
edit you
put me at
down.
the
I'll
bottom
just
and
edit you down
post.
again anyway. Yeah. I've done that before because sometimes when we've recorded it on because when we've recorded it on Zencaster when your webcam refuses to work, I sometimes have to drop you down when you're usually on the side or whatever. But I digress. That's not for podcast talk. What
Sad.
is let's talk about everything else about the game. So you've talked about the gameplay a little bit. You've talked about the world design and stuff like that. Talk to me about the soundtrack. Talk to me about the art style. What are you thinking about it?
The soundtrack's pretty cool. I like some of the songs that you get when you're going back to the little, I forget what they call it, but the Crow headquarters essentially. I like the song that plays there. You do this specific like gauntlet type of thing to get all of your power, to get your like special moves like the fireball and the other magic stuff. And I like that one because it starts off kind of like the piano and the main menu, and then it just gradually gets more frantic.
Mhm.
So that's a cool song, and yeah, the soundtrack's pretty well done. The visuals, it looks good. It doesn't exactly stand out to me as far as like it just kind of looks like what I would expect a game like this to, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I can feel that because I remember a lot of people were talking about the visuals, and I remember looking at it and I was like, this very much looks like I'd expect it to if you pitched it to me. It was like, it's not bad. It's not a bad looking game whatsoever.
It looks
it's just
good. It's just like it's not one of those things where I'd look at it and be like with Hollow Knight or a Supergiant game, I'd be like, the visuals are something that are gonna stick in my head forever.
Yeah, it doesn't blow you away.
This is more like, oh yes, this looks as I expect it to.
Good enough.
Yeah. But no, it's kind of crazy. It's been one of those years where I've seen everybody won't shut up about it whenever I bring up that it's been a slow year or whatever, people will be like, we've never had this many consistently good games. And I'm like, yeah, because it's been a year of indies and smaller games that have done really fucking well. And there's no problem with it. But we've had so many good indie games this year in particular that it's like, or smaller games, even stuff like not indie to small games. Like, I count Chris Tales as an indie game. I count
it sure is. It's got like a publisher behind it, but it's the indie game for sure.
Yeah, and then you've had like re-releases like Hades come out everywhere. You've had
I saw a
stuff
tweet
like 12
the
minutes.
other day, like, yeah, I don't think anything that's come out this year is better than Hades, and I'm like, I agree with you, buddy.
Yeah, last year was a strong one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like this game does just add to that lineup of smaller games that have done really well. Kana, add that to these smaller games, these bite-sized games they've been doing so well this year, and that it's nice for people to be enjoying it.
Nice.
While I sit here and bitch about not using my PS5, it's great fun, So I guess I don't know if you've got anything else to add, Kyle, but
I don't know anything about Death's Door.
I know bits and pieces. It's one of those games that I think I'm going to eventually get to. But my backlog is starting to build up again. Black Friday happened. Maybe we can talk about that later. But Black Friday happened, and Ethan made some fucking terrible decisions. So I don't know when I'll get around to it, but I hope so. But would you recommend it, Hunter?
I would. It was a solid time. Actually, I forgot to mention the writing. While it's not a very heavily story-based game, they just kind of set you up and have you do your thing. Like the moment-to-moment interactions you'll have with the NPCs you meet are pretty funny. Like it's got personality behind it. Like in the first like major area, you meet an NPC called Pothead, who is just a dude who has a pot on his head because he got turned into like an urn or something. And they've got funny little bits of humor like that, just strewn about the game.
Yeah, I like it. No, good to hear. Positive impressions. If you guys have played it, let us know on the socials at Hot Games Only, or comment down in the comment section what you think of Death's Door. If you've played it, if you were fortunate enough to own an Xbox and play it 6 months ago, whenever the fuck it came out, or if you're playing it just now, on Switch or PC or whatever the fuck it is. It's everywhere. I think it's everywhere.
Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, there we go. And that is it for new games this week. That was literally it. There is fuck all else. So we're going. You know, it's bad when Ethan's like, "Okay, fine, I'll allow Kyle to talk about a fighting game on the podcast." So, come on,
worse, he's
Kyle.
like, we talk about a League of Legends fighting game.
Yeah. Do you want to? Has anyone here actually played League?
No.
Nope.
I played one game of League and didn't get it and stopped playing League. And from what I can see, it's like that's like a good thing, because all I've seen about people that like League, all they do is bitch and hate League. That's literally like that's their fun. That's what they get from it. It's like that new League TV show came out, Arcane, on Netflix.
Arcane.
Yeah, and I've been hearing just amazing things about it. I've heard it's a really
Yeah.
good show. Like, it's really great.
Yeah.
But the one thing I remember seeing people was, once they finished, they were like, fuck, this is making me want to go and play League. And then there were just like a load of people going, remember guys, remember how shit League is, don't go back just because the show's good. And it just makes me laugh
Yeah.
about how people shit on Riot. Regardless.
I never played League of Legends, but I think like it must have been 5-6 years ago now. I don't remember. Back when I was like a senior in high school at the time, my brothers and I dabbled in Smite for a weekend, which was like League of Legends, but with the various mythologies. I guess.
Yeah.
The closest I got to a MOBA was an indie game that came out in like 2013, 2012 called Awesome Nauts. And this is like a throwback game. Like, this was like really indie. It was one of the first PS4 games out as well, but it was like a 2D side scroller version of them. And I played it for like 10 hours and I was like, yeah, this is all right. And then I never played it again. That's the closest I ever got to playing a MOBA for a long period of time. So there you go.
The most exposure I've had to League of Legends was freshman year in college. My roommate was a League player.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
I hated him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for past me too. I hated him. Dude was a shut-in. Like, he barely ever even went to class. Every time I came back, he'd be in his room playing League or sleeping. One of the two. Fuck knows what happened to him. After freshman year, I stopped talking to him.
Maybe he's still playing League.
In freshman year, I barely started talking to him.
Maybe he has an opinion on Arcane that may or may not be on Twitter. Who knows? Guess we'll never know. But anyway.
Maybe he has an opinion about this fighting game, Project Luigi.
Project Luigi. Project L. So, Kyle, I'm going to let you explain to the boys and girls what Project L is, because I honestly, other than watching the video and knowing that it's a League of Legends fighting game, I know nothing. So go on, tell us all about Project L.
So, like Ethan said, it's a League of Legends based fighting game where they're basically putting in champions from League of Legends. I don't know any of their names. There's a time dude named Echo, and that's about it. There was like a fox girl. There was a armored knight dude.
He used an axe. I think his name was Darius.
And some third, fourth person, I don't even remember anything about them. But it's basically like a 2-on-2 tag fighter game, kind of like Blaze Blue cross tag battle. So big points from me there. Big fan.
Of course he throws in that. Of course he does.
Well, it's the comparison.
It's like the fighting game I like. You guys might not like it, but I like it. And that's all that matters.
That's what fighting games are, dude. It's like this, therefore I like it.
I thought fighting games was just, I hate everything, you know? I just thought it was a load of people like, you go to their community and it's like, this is bullshit. Yeah. Hype, hate. Like, that's the cycle of fighting games.
Yeah. Then you put it down for 2 months, and then you come back, and it's like, this wasn't that bad, actually.
And then a week later, you're like, I've made a grave mistake.
So anyway, Project L, it's come out. My TV's just turned on in the background, I don't know why, so there's a ghost in my room. But yeah, Project L, it's a video game. It's coming out at some point, and they've done this stupid
Eventually.
fucking trailer that is the talking thing. We'll get to that in a second while I figure it
It's
out.
basically just like a, hey, we're still doing this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it was basically announced like a year or two ago, and then nothing was ever heard about it again.
It was announced around the same time as Valorant, wasn't it?
When was
And then
Valorant
came,
announced?
like 2 years ago.
Well, there
year
you go.
ago. It's been it was
I
announced a
don't pay
while.
attention to what Riot Games does.
Neither do I, right? But so
It's a
anyway,
miracle this crossed my radar.
this video came out. What did they say, Carl? What was this? What were like the big talking points from this little briefing that they gave on? Hey, we're still making the video
Rollback
game.
netcode.
Honestly, rollback netcode was the big thing.
They did the fucking classic, dude. That is literally the ray tracing of the fighting game community. It's just the fucking buzzword, right? Carry on. What did they say? Well, I try and fix this haunted computer.
If it works, it works. The big thing was that they were definitely putting more of an emphasis on online because we're still like in uncertain times. So they're definitely putting a good like online netcode at the forefront of what they have. They're also advertising that it's a simple to pick up and play fighter.
They also
Well, this one I feel is more true than the rest of them, where it's like a low skill floor but a high skill ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Where a lot of your moves seem like, from the trailer, it seems like a lot of your big combos will be able to be done with like just a few button clicks.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I don't know. It's hard to tell from just this like continuous proof of concept trailer they did, but
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna need to see more. I don't want to say anything definitive right now.
You see, and this is why I hate these trailers. This was like the main reason that I don't care about this is because I hate these fucking trailers that they do. And it's the fighting games do this the most, and I fucking hate them. Where it's just two devs that are like, hi, I'm Billy Bobby, the creative designer on Pee Pee Poo Poo, the fighting game. And it's like, oh, hi. As you can see, I have a very vivid imagination.
Original concept, do not steal.
Do not steal. But you know, they always come out and they're like, hi, we're two leads. Now let's talk about how we have all this stuff in our game and all these things that we have, where we show this really generic footage that doesn't show you any example of this or even give you an idea of how this will go. But we're just going to do this and we're just going to talk about it. We're going to say a buzzword. Everyone says robot netcode these days, so let's just say robot netcode. Hey guys, how you doing? It's like, I just don't get it. I'm like, just show us the game or get the fuck out, you know? Like, the only people, and I'm going to... You know what? I've pissed off JRPG fans for 2 weeks in a row. It's time to piss off the fighting game community, apparently.
Oh boy.
But it's like, the only people that care about these buzzwords, like rollback netcode and stuff like that, or input latency, or all this bollocks, right, are fucking really people that are really into fighting games, who are going to really get their teeth into it, who are going to really go at it from day one and learn it. And spoiler alert, those fuckers are already sold on day one. They're already sold. They're getting the game or they're not. I assume it's free to play because it's Riot. I assume it's going to be a free to play thing where you get skins, and it's probably going to be PC only for now. That's what my assumption will be. Because Valorant's still not on consoles, is it? I don't think so.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't care.
We don't pay
Valorant.
attention to Riot. I thought this was clear.
We're not Riot people. But no, it's like my thing with it is you're already going to have the hardcore audience in. Well done. You said your buzzwords. You said your rollback netcode, you know. You talked about that. You've basically given them the spiel that every time Smash Bros. People can play in, you've told them what they want to hear. You've told them that there's the high ceiling and the low, like, whatever the fuck you said. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's the low... It's easy to learn, but hard to master.
Low barrier of entry.
Low barrier of entry, high skill ceiling. You know, you said those magic words. You said rollback netcode. They're in, right? What about me? What about Hunter? Well, we don't play fighting games that often, and if we do, we play them just to piss about and have fun. And,
Dude, this seems like it's going to be pretty competitive leaning, so
yeah,
will probably not care.
But here's the thing, right? Is the fighting game community has always been a community they're more of a vocal minority than a silent majority, if that makes sense. A lot of them scream and act like they're the biggest things ever. And Smash Bros. Ultimate is the biggest fighting game ever made. And the one before that was Street Fighter 2. We are not living in a time where, like, it's not like a blockbuster. You're not going to have LOL levels of players on this game. So where are they going to make the money from? They need to get some people in. And I think they're doing a good job of making it a LOL game so that people are going to come in because they like Arcane, because they definitely don't like League of Legends. But they're going to get people in because of the IP. But how are you going to keep them? How are you going to get them to stay? That's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there going to be an extensive tutorial system? Is there going to be a story mode? Is there going to be something that eases the way in? Is there going to be like fun ways to play with friends? Or is it just going to be strictly kind of these really competitive games where it's just like all or nothing? Are they going to have these fun side modes? What is this fucking game? This trailer caters to the people that are already going to fucking try it on release. You know what I mean? Like, what's going to get me and Hunter excited? Probably nothing. But at the same time, what's going to get us excited? What are the weird, wacky, fun things that we can do that aren't necessarily get good, kid? That's my assumption on it. I don't know about you, Hunter, but that's like my take on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I will say this much, though. I don't think I gave enough credit to League of Legends before for their characters actually looking kind of cool. The top-down MOBA thing
You
that
can't
I've
really
seen.
see them.
Yeah, it's not very flattering for the character models. The characters they have had show up in this video did look cool, so there's that.
If League of Legends has ever done anything right, it's their character design and just their characters in general. Like, they're crazy. They have a fucking like K-pop band in League of Legends, like as characters that release music under like the label and shit.
They have
like,
albums,
Like League is this crazy world where it's what Overwatch wants to be, because Overwatch decided to just stop making shit. But it's like they've put it all into Overwatch 2, guys, coming 2026. But it has this massive world filled with loads of characters from loads of different, that feel like they're from loads of different genres, but they've all kind of culminated into this one package, which is a really fucking awful video game. I'm gonna stop. I'm really gonna stop. From what I played of League, I liked it a little bit, but I couldn't be asked to learn it. But their character design is fucking flawless, and I feel like that's what you need in a free-to-play game like this. Is you want the characters to look cool, so you want people to get them.
Especially a fighting game. Like if it's free and it's a fighting game and people look cool, and it's not on PC, then maybe I will try it.
I think it'll come to consoles.
That's all people need.
I think it will come to consoles. I genuinely do. I'm surprised Valorant isn't on consoles yet. That should also probably come to consoles. But here's the thing: is I think it's going to do fine. I think it's going to be very good, and I think it'll do well. But I think it's going to be even more not in my alley. Like Valorant was a game where if it had come out on consoles, I probably would have tried Valorant, because it was kind of up my alley. It was kind of a hero shooter, but it was more CS:GO like in its competitive nature, and it's just and just the way it plays. So I probably would have given it a go. But now I don't give a toss. It's been like a year. I don't care. I look and watch, but I've seen Valorant gameplay, and I'm like, this looks like a game that must be fun to play, because it's not fun to watch. And fair play. I feel like the reason League has done so well is because League is a fun game to watch. People really like watching League. Hunter, you look at me like that, but literally League esports is the biggest esports in the world.
I understand. It's just it doesn't do just from what I've seen of it.
Yeah, to me, I don't get it.
It doesn't look very fun to watch to me.
It must be,
but
fun
it
to
must
watch
be to other
people.
I mean, what do I know? I don't like football either, and that's the biggest sport in my country.
Heyo.
But it's like, I think this will have a good competitive scene. I don't know how much it will hit the wider market, but I think it'll definitely find its place in places like Evo and stuff like that.
I mean, also because they already have League of Legends, I don't think that this game needs to be as big.
No, it's like Epic with Fortnite. They can literally do whatever they want now, because they already have the thing that will make them money for the rest of their for a long period, or they've already made enough money from League to last them a lifetime, right? But it will be interesting nonetheless.
And I feel like making it a simpler fighting game definitely helps with like the crossover appeal with the League of Legends fan base.
Oh, 100%. I think it'll be interesting. I think my main point has been it's a terrible way for them to market this game, not necessarily a terrible game, if that makes sense. I think it'll be great.
Yeah.
Can't be fucking worse
mean-
than Nick All-Stars Brawl or whatever the fuck. Like,
And I'm sure,
Yeah.
like, as it gets closer to release date, we'll start to know more about what is in the game.
yeah,
Like, what the actual content of the game is, beyond just what the online features are.
It just feels very weird to me because usually for most game cycles, the online's the last thing you talk about because it's usually the thing that's running late. You know, it's like I don't know. Let's take Call of Duty for example, right? The old Call of Duty marketing cycle was always campaign first, multiplayer second, zombies last, because that was the order that the dev time went to, where zombies was always coming in late. Still great, but always came in late, right? And the same thing with like you just look at games most of the time, and if they have a multiplayer component, chances are you usually see the single player stuff first. So I find it interesting that they have prioritized focusing on the online first, and of course it's a Riot game, so of course they're focusing online because.
But it's
that's where
also
they
a
make their money.
fighting, like,
Yeah, it's a fighting game. Which
modern
I think,
fighting games have kind of moved away from like self-contained story modes and definitely have started to favor online more
yeah, unless you're like
as the
NetherRealm or
selling point.
something.
True.
Because even like Soul Calibur 6 didn't have much of a story mode.
Oh, Soul Calibur 6's story mode was fun.
And
but
some
it-
games like Smash, you
it
just wish
wasn't
didn't have a
much.
story mode.
Oh
I
my!
don't. I
Smashes
played,
went on for way too long.
I finished
I
World
played
of
that
Light
story mode for like
100%.
40 hours.
But no, I think it'll do well. We'll see. It'll get into Evo because, as everyone knows, Evo is now owned by PlayStation and Pokimane, so you know that it's going to make it in there. That is an actual fact. That is not a joke.
I know.
That is an actual
I know. I
fact.
saw the memes.
And Pokimane really likes Riot, so I'm sure she'll turn PlayStation onto it instantly. Because yeah, definitely Pokimane owns that entire 50% share. No,
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely. You just got. I'm just imagining like Jim Ryan and Pokimane in a fucking meeting about Evo. They're just really passionate about it. Jim Ryan really wants that Nick All-Stars Brawl fucking fighting tournament in there. So just picture it
Do
in
you
my
think
head.
when Disney eventually makes their own Nick All Stars, they'll put Sora in it?
Yeah, of course they will. Of course they will. They'll take it straight out. They don't care about Nintendo's rules. They'll be like, fine, take him out of Smash. We're taking him for our shit game.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to see what are in like whatever that metaverse is. What is it? Is it yeah.
The
DC.
Warner Brothers
Multiverses,
one?
The Warner
multiverses.
Brothers,
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah, not metaverse. That's Mark Zuckerberg. Multiverses.
Not Persona. Mark
yeah,
Zuckerberg.
Mark
Good
Zuckerberg.
subversion, Ethan.
You know, I honestly thought I was like having memory loss because I forgot Sajiro's name for a second today. Like that's how bad I was feeling. Like I was like,
boy.
yeah, I was like, I was in my head. I'm like, what's boss's name again? I'm like, oh, Sojiro. I'm like, God, is this memory loss? And I literally went through like everybody's names in every game I could possibly think of, and I'm just like, no, I just must have had a weak spell. But hey, there you go.
Can't believe you forgot Coffee Dad.
I know. Well, I still called him boss. I was just like, what's boss's name again? I'm like, Sojiro, and I'm like, God, what's Dad in P4 called? And I'm like, oh, Dejima, that's it. I'm like, okay,
Dejima.
yeah.
I remember his because it rhymes with Kojima.
Of course you do. But hey, there you go. That's Project L for you. Moving on, I guess. I've put this in the same spot. So Kyle, well done. Welcome back to the podcast. You're talking more.
Ethan, you go.
Do you
Tell
want me
the
to
folks
go for a
about
little
Kingdom
bit?
Hearts.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Right, I'll say that I swapped them over. Right, I'll talk about
I need
Kingdom
a
Hearts for a little bit.
break. Need
Okay.
a talking break.
So I'll talk about
on a
three things.
podcast.
I'll talk about three things really quick, right? So first of all, I'll talk about Kingdom Hearts. So I've been going back through my backlog, after taking a small break to play an hour of both. Well, no, I played more than an hour, but I played an hour of Shin Megami Tensei 5, and I played like 3 hours of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond before putting those down. I was like, right, I've done my due diligence. I have pissed off enough JRPG fans. It's time to go back to the
And
Kingdom
Pokemon
Hearts rhythm
fans.
game, yeah. It's time to go back and finish some other games that I said I'd go and finish. So I finished 2. Kingdom Hearts, Melody of Memory. I've got every trophy except 1, and I'm very pissed with this because, again, Kingdom Hearts has the worst trophy lists. Essentially, let me read what I did, right? I finished the story mode, including all optional objectives. I played all 150 songs on all 3 difficulties. That's 450 playthroughs at least. I had to restart some of them. I had to get 50 perfect runs on each of those, which I did on my way through because I'm a fucking god at rhythm games. What can I say? On each difficulty. Did all that. Hunter?
So were there trophies for each difficulty, and did they not stack? Is that
No,
why
they
you
don't
did
stack.
that?
That's why I did it.
Oh
that
my
way.
god, that is
Epic.
so bad.
Yeah.
Epic.
And
Every other
because
Kingdom Hearts game stacks.
and because I know they didn't on PS3, but yes, they do now on PS4.
They
And
do now, yeah.
because I
didn't own a
knew
PS3.
because I knew that it was like this, I did the story mode. This is how I did the story mode. Is I did all the levels on easy on story mode, and then if the optional objectives require me to play on normal or proud, I would then literally say a song. Let's say I don't know. Let's say Castle Oblivion, right? Had a requirement that said get 70% or more notes hit on proud as one of its 3 optional objectives. That meant that during story mode on that level, I would play through it on beginner all the way through, on standard all the way through, and then do it on proud a 3rd time in a row to just get that proud done. And I know, okay, I never have to play that song again, right? So I did it like that. So I did end up playing songs more than 450 times, but I basically played 450 songs. So I did that.
Jesus.
Once I did that, I did the versus mode, which required me to then play an additional 30 odd things to get the max rank against the CPUs. Did all that, did all the crafting, got all the items, got all the chests, got every other collectible under the sun that I needed for the trophy. The final trophy is get 100,000 Heartless kills in the game. By the time that I was done with all of that, playing the game for over 30 hours, I had drumroll. I'd press my stream deck if I had a drum roll. Like 56,000 kills. Was barely over halfway. And this is where I want to kill myself, because now the option is, do I play the song that has the most Heartless in it, which is like 400, and literally play that song for 5 hours in a row, just that one song, to get the trophy, or do I stop?
It sure sucks that the Battle of 1,000 Heartless or whatever it was from KH2 isn't in the game.
And it sucks that it's not even Sephiroth's theme that has the most Heartless in it. That's what sucks, because that is in the
tragic.
game. But no. So I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to give up. But the other potential thing
That
is
is
play the song
understandable.
like 5 times a day, every day for the next month. So it's like, what do I do? Which one? It's like,
I know you won't do it, but I still like Hunter's suggestion of just do all 5 hours on stream.
fuck that. No.
I
Don't
know.
like it.
I know.
I'd die. I genuinely would die. But no. So that's really annoying, and I fucking hate it. It's like the level 99 Riku trophy on Chain of Memories. Like, fuck this shit.
Oh my
Why do they have
God.
these unnecessary grinds right at the end for no reason?
Oh my.
But yeah, otherwise, it's a great rhythm game. It's a lot of fun. I think it suffers from too much. And what I say by that is, it has 150 songs in it. If you can tell me someone that can name 150 memorable Kingdom Hearts songs, I'll give them a fucking trophy, because I played through all 150 of them and I don't remember any of them. It's one of those things. And there's no remix. There's like very few remixes, and if they are, they're from official things that they did long ago. Like, there's like some piano versions of some songs, but they were from an orchestra. There were some weird, like, kind of jazzy kind of ones that were from a performance that someone else did ages ago. It's not like Persona. The thing I love about the Persona dancing games is there's only 30 songs, but they choose the absolute bangers, and then they do remixes of the absolute bangers as well. And there are some epic like remixes of some of these songs. Like, there's some really good stuff in all 3 of them, even though people love to hate on Persona 3 and 5 dancing just because Persona fans love to hate. It's the thing
They
love
don't
to
have
do.
the specialist dance.
Yeah. There is a form of specialist in the game, but you can't do the dance, but there is a version of it in the game.
Tragic.
But there's a load of good stuff. But Kingdom Hearts, it just feels like bloatware. It feels like Nomura was like, we'll do a rhythm game. And someone was like, cool, what remixes are we going to do? He's like, no, just take the 150 songs we've done and just chuck those in. So it's like, if you ever thought about doing I wonder what fucking random Halloween town music would look like in a rhythm game. Well, now you can find out, ladies and gentlemen, because that's what you're going to do. And it's just like, But no, it's fine. It's interesting. It's fun. It's a rhythm game. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, Kyle, enough of
Anyway,
that.
Ethan.
We're going back to Final Fantasy
All
VI.
right.
Because my
Epic.
throat now hurts, so I'm passing the parcel to you. So what have you been
Well, they
doing
were
in Final
just
Fantasy
taking
VI?
turns, taking breaks from talking.
Yeah, my throat's
Um,
sore, so I'll pass it to you, and then you can pass it back
Oh,
to me, and I'll
shit.
shit on Vanguard. It's simple as that. So,
All
what have you been
right.
doing in FF6?
So, recently, as recent as like a couple weeks ago, there was a ROM hack that was finally the English translation was finally finished. It's called Final Fantasy VI T Edition, and basically, this was a ROM hack that was released in Japan only, it was released only in Japanese, not Japan only. It's a ROM hack. So,
It's very impressive that they could region lock that.
but it was but
Go
it
fuck
was only
yourselves,
available
region
in
lock.
Japanese
Nice.
until like a couple weeks ago when Clyde Mandolin just dropped on his Twitter. Clyde Mandolin, being a video game translator, he did the work for he helped with the translation for the Mother 3 fan translation. So he just shadow dropped on his Twitter like a couple weeks ago, "Hey, I'm finished translating this. Here you go."
Amazing.
And so I'm like, okay. So this ROM hack is basically, it's like kind of like infamous in the FF6 ROM hack community. It's
like
so
the Sucker Punch game.
No, Hunter. No, Hunter. But
Go
it's
on.
very well known, and a lot of people just haven't really had a way to play it because it wasn't in English and we don't want to learn. But
British, innit? Hey, fuck you all with it. Hey, speak more, you fucker. Oi, oi. In this town, we speak British, mate. Oi. That's what I'm going to do when I go to Japan eventually, is I'm just going to get off the plane and start going, oi, oi.
Are you YouTuber?
Are you YouTuber? I am.
I am.
Anyway.
But no, so this ROM hack is basically like a love letter to like all of Final Fantasy. It's really well done. There's a bunch of I haven't gotten too far in it. I've where I stopped today was I did the first fight with Kefka at Narsh, which is kind of like a good stopping point for what I needed to do for this episode. But the game's good. A lot of all the character sprites have been redesigned to be kind of like their official Amano artwork designs instead of like the normal FF6 sprites.
That would mess with me at first. Let me tell you.
You get used to it.
Seeing Shadow look like he does in the illustrations. Oh man.
You get used to it. Terra's
Yeah.
got a cape and she looks cool.
Oh.
But there's a lot there's just a lot in this game. It keeps the original story intact, but there's also a bunch of side content. I haven't gotten to any of it yet, but there's like side quests you can accept.
Amazing.
There are alternate costumes for characters, which are just references to other Final Fantasy characters. Like Terra,
Nice.
for example, she has one that makes her look like Aerith. She has one that makes her look like Lightning. I think she has one that makes her look like Rydia from FF4.
Interesting.
And then after you've beaten the game, it unlocks a new game plus, which wasn't in the original. And then it also gives you a buttload of super bosses to fight, which are all other Final Fantasy final bosses, pretty much.
Oh, cool.
Like, just looking at the website, there's Cloud of Darkness from FF3, and then Ultimecia from FF8.
Do they have
So,
Sephiroth?
I don't know. I'll let you know.
Maybe one day we'll find out.
Maybe one day. But this will just be something I have running in the background.
Yeah, fair.
Because I've been looking for an excuse to play Final Fantasy VI again. I love this game, and this used to be a game that I would just do like a yearly replay of every January, because that was when I first finished it. I've kind of stopped doing that when I went to college because finding time to do that was hard. But I'm just glad to be playing this game again. And also, like, the ROM hack is hard. Like, they upped the difficulty from the original, which is basically like
We've lost baby Ethan and his pee pee poo poo brain.
Are you telling me I can't just kill things with Edgar's crossbow for an hour until I get Sabin?
I mean, you could. It's what I still did, but it just takes longer to kill things.
Oh, it was like a one-shot kill for before.
Yeah, they gave things more health. They also buffed your damage a little bit, but
well, that's nice of them, I guess. But
like, I've also been having to like plan out my teams and like who would be better to use in what battle. So like the Kefka fight, for example, I know he like specializes in magic, so I'd throw Celeste in the party because she absorbs magic.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's not something I thought about when I play vanilla.
No, I didn't think party composition at all when I played.
I just think Unga Bunga hit things.
I was like Sabin, Shadow, alternate between Terra and Celeste, and then Locke.
Yeah.
And that was essentially how I went, except for when I was doing the no magic tower.
Oh,
Then I brought Mr. Yeti with me. You just throw things at people.
I agree.
Yeah.
But no, game's good. I highly recommend it.
No, nice. I always love when, whether it's just Japanese games that never came over to the West or just Romhacks in general or whatever, get English translations. It's always a cool little moment for people. Are there any games that you would want that to happen for? Is there any games that are still out there that you think should get one that haven't?
Ace Attorney Investigations 2.
Oh, they're gonna do that eventually.
I think there is like a fan translation, but I meant officially.
Oh, you want an official translation?
Yeah.
I'm just like whatever you can get, you know.
Yeah.
I still want Mother 3 officially.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
It's been way too long.
Yeah.
And Nintendo seems cool with Earthbound now, so
one day, you think? I feel like if they ever do the Game Boy Virtual Console on Switch, I think they'll do it. Here's my bet.
It would be really funny if they just gave us the Japanese version.
You ready for this? No, you ready?
Hilarious.
Are you ready for this? Here's my prediction. Come back to me in like a year. Here's my prediction. Game Boy and Game Boy Advanced games will be coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Game Boy will be chucked in with the NES and SNES, and the Game Boy Advanced games will be chucked into the expansion pack with the excuse of you will get an official localization of Mother 3 within Game Boy Advance Nintendo Switch Online.
Official until we discontinue the service.
And then you wave bye-bye to the official translation because we're never going to re-release it.
Bye, monkey.
That's my prediction. For me, I've said it before, I'll say it again. For me, it's Tokimeki Memorial ever since that Tim Rogers video. That's like my favorite YouTube video of all time. If you haven't checked it out, 6-hour video about one of the original dating sim video games that I believe it was Konami that made it. And it's never been released outside of Japan. And watching that video, I'd recommend.
So it's never going to happen.
Yeah, I'd recommend watching that video because you learn a lot about video games and you realize how much of video games come from this one random romance genre game that came out on the PS1 in like 1996. It's so weird. There's like a load of modern game design comes from that video game, and it's kind of crazy because all of those people that worked on it, most of the devs that worked on that game then went on to make the PS1 Castlevania games, for example, and other games like that. It's the same team.
Nice.
It's an excellent game. And one of my favorite quotes from him is he found out that someone was trying to remake the SNES version of that game, and he told the people to not bother and do the PS1 version because the SNES version shits. he was like, "Fuck, why are you doing that? It's garbage." Great video, but no, I love it when fan localizations happen. It's always a cool moment because all of us stupid people are like, "I'm not learning Japanese." Care to experience something, so it's always cool.
It is nice because like earlier this year the Great Ace Attorney games came out and those weren't available outside of Japan until then either, and I've only dabbled in it a little bit, but they're really cool so far.
We're only just now getting to the stage of simultaneous localization. We're only just getting to that stage now.
Yeah.
So Honestly, the day that Persona 6 comes out and it's a simultaneous localization like SMT5, that's when we're living. When we don't have to. That's the day when we're like, we're finally here. This is the next generation. Because we finally
We
don't have to mute names
words on Twitter.
and words on Twitter for 6 months. Like, that'll be, yeah. That's what I'm like with every JRPG now. Like, even though Xenoblade now gets simultaneous releases, I'll still be sitting there going, oh god, what if though? What if Xenoblade 3 is like 2 months in Japan first? I'm like, no. Oh well.
No,
Glad you're enjoying it
Nintendo's
anyway.
cool with Xenoblade now.
But yeah. Where is Xenoblade 3 Imran Khan, by the way? Where the fuck is it? I want my game. Imran,
do
you lied to
too.
me. Where is it? January Direct.
Xeno
well,
fans are thirsty over here.
It's been what? Like, been
It's
like
our
2
turn.
years.
When was Torna? 2018?
Nintendo
you
was
got-
like,
you
we
got
gave you
definitive
Pyra
edition.
and Smash Bros, so that's your
Yeah,
thing
we
for
get.
the year.
To be fair, we get Xenoblade every year, right? We got Xenoblade 2, then we got
Oh, that's fair.
Xenoblade Torna, then we got Xenoblade DE, then we got Pyra and Mithra and Smash. So next year, Xenoblade is very
Xenosaga
easy.
trilogy.
Xenoblade is very quickly becoming like one of Nintendo's most populated Switch titles. It's kind of weird how
Good.
that's happened.
Deserves it.
But hey,
Tetsuya Takahashi makes good things.
he does indeed. I guess, Hunter, have you got anything else to talk about this week?
No, I beat
That's the
Tales of
spirit.
Arise, but yeah, I talked
Epic.
about that like 6 times already, so
True.
it's a good game. Go play it.
Go listen to the battle theme. It's a banger.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will crop up in all Game of the Year stuff later down the line.
Sure will.
So I guess I'll end it by shitting on something else. I swear, one day I'll play a game I like, guys.
Yeah.
But alas, that is not the case because I played the latest Call of Duty campaign. Feels bad because I bought this fucking game and the zombies were so unbelievably shit. God, that was like reflexes, dude. That was like holy shit. That was like John Marston Deadeye precision right there, dude. Fuck me. For audio listeners, Hunter literally just slapped the mute button on his mic the instant he sneezed, and it worked. Like, fair play. That was
man.
But yeah, so 2 weeks ago, I shat all over Vanguard, saying it was a pile of wank, but I hadn't fully finished the campaign, so I was like, let's go back, and now I can confirm that this is probably one of the worst Call of Duty games that's ever been made.
Oh man.
Damn.
It's not right. Let me say it's not a badly made game, except for the zombies mode. That is a badly made portion of the game. But the campaign and multiplayer are not badly made. The multiplayer is actually decent. It's probably one of the better multiplayer experiences in recent years. But the campaign's so shit. It is like it's 4 hours long. Yo, nice yawn. Nice yawn.
Sorry.
No, it's Call of Duty. I expect nothing less.
Hits
yeah.
me. That's what it gets me.
Let me talk about the pros. As always with Call of Duty, the acting's
Has
good.
Laura Bailey.
Yeah, the acting's always good. Laura Bailey is really good. The person who plays Kingsley, who is the other main character, also very good. Most of the main characters are good. The Australians are very Australian. They swear a lot. Well done. You did your research. It's true. So yeah, that's good. It looks nice. It looks very much like Activision spent a lot of money on it. Like they do Bobby Kotick, who they should fire. I'm just going to say that every now and then just because it's fun.
Yeah.
No reason in particular.
No reason in particular, except for Bobby Kotick is a piece of shit and should be fired for what he's done.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Potentially more.
what I hate about this campaign in particular is how fucking, one, it's terrible story, and two, it's terrible gameplay. Basically the game. The story is set up in a way where the idea is it's like an Avengers game, right? Where there's this team called the Vanguard, who are this operation squad, who are different people who are specialists in different fields that have been brought together to pull off this big attack on Germany where they steal intel from Germany to help win the war, is essentially what it is. And you start off on a mission where this team is already assembled and you're hijacking a train and you're going to get this information. And you get caught. One of your character who you're playing in that first mission dies, and then you're sitting in a jail cell with a load of very stereotypical Nazis being Nazis. towards you and interviewing you and interrogating you. And essentially, the rest of the game is then flashback sequences of you learning the past of those characters, and you play as them like twice each. And you just learn about, oh, this is Laura Bailey. She was a Russian sniper whose family died. Now she's an epic sniper, and now she's in the Vanguard. And they do this for all the characters, and then the final mission is you steal the intel, and that's the credits. It is literally flashback the video
Epic.
game. It is literally flash. You think that the point of flashbacks is to set stuff up so that then you can continue the story forward and move them forward. No, it's just
This sounds like someone watched a heist movie and quit paying attention to how the structure works.
it's like a heist movie where they did 90 minutes of setup and 3 minutes of the heist. Like literally, it was like,
And then at the end, they fire Bobby Kotick.
yeah, it's like this is the fixer. He fixes everything. This is the hacker. Look at him go. Oh, by the way, the bank vault was unlocked, so they just walked in and got the fucking gold and ran out, and that's it. That's the story. It's pointless. It very much is just so terrible. Like, I was like, also they do the generic thing. I'm going to spoiler for the campaign. They do the thing at the end where they say the title of the game at the end of it. Like, the last word was
Nice.
like, the last line is something like, "We were the Vanguard," and I cringed so hard that I turned the console off and went, "Fuck me, get me out of here." It was awful. So no, story is like awful. It's literally like, by the way, it's 4 hours long. So you get to play as each of the characters twice. Then you have this final mission, which is awful. It's like Avengers, where you swap between the characters and it does epic pan shots and shit. And it's like, look how epic we are. You're playing as all your favorites. And I'm like, I don't remember any of the names of
It's
any
panning
of
around these
characters.
people that I've never seen their faces before because I
Yeah.
look from their perspective.
And I don't ever remember Call of Duty being this generic. And here's the thing, because people shit on Call of Duty, but for the most part, they've always had decent campaigns. Like, if you asked me to name characters from old campaigns, I could very easily do it from the old, like, 360 days. I could very easily list off Mason, Woods, Reznov, Ghost, Price, all of those people. I can list those people off. If you were to tell me who the fuck was in this game, I can say Laura Bailey and put a smile on my face, and that's about it. That's all I can say. Is I think she plays someone called Paulina. That's it, I think is her name. Paulina.
Paulina.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's it. That's all I can remember. The characters are shit. As for the gameplay, it's just so generically awful. Like, I know it's a Call of Duty game, but still, it's like generic. Like, you don't even do anything fun. Like, there's no epic like fight scene or whatever. It's like it has the shitty mission. You know what shitty mission I'm talking about? It has the shitty first person mission where your gun's been thrown away and you only have a knife, and you have a boss fight where you have to stealth around the guy and sneak behind him and stab him. You know the classic boss fight. It's in every shitty first person shooter where it's like your gun's gone and the guy's like, "I know where you are," and you're like having to sneak around him like it's some Batman Arkham shit, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's awful. This game is so bad, and Bobby Kotick needs to be fired for it. Not of all the terrible things that he's done to the people working at his company. No, this game's bad enough.
Somehow.
It's just so forgettable. Like, honestly, I just don't.
Is it
get
better or worse than the one from a few years ago that had Jon Snow?
Oh, let me just say this about Infinite Warfare.
What?
Yeah, Infinite Warfare had Jon Snow in it, and people shat on that. That's the Call of Duty car that got the most dislikes of all time on a YouTube video before YouTube Rewind came out and went, "It's rewind time," and then got more dislikes.
Yeah.
What
Well,
a
now
year for
dislikes are
YouTube.
going away, so
They're gone, thank God. Fuck you, haters. We can't see you anymore.
how dare you tell us to improve?
Yeah, how dare you? But Infinite Warfare, right? People hated on the trailer. The multiplayer was garbage. But the thing about that game was the campaign for that game, Hunter, was surprisingly probably the best Call of Duty campaign in recent memory. Like in the 5 years.
All right.
Yeah, it was probably the best Call of Duty campaign. And it was also, the Infinite Warfare Zombies was fucking great. It was 80s. So basically, the idea behind we're going on a tangent. The Infinite
Were they
Warfare
in space in that game?
yeah, zombies in space. Yeah, so zombies. So the theme
All
of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare Zombies was like a movie. It was like an old like horror movie where these 4 actors went to this famous horror director who was pitching them their new title. But what actually happened was that the director was actually like a pawn of Satan and trapped them in his own versions of his old movies. So the 4 actors got trapped in his famous 80s horror film Zombies in Spaceland, which is set in a theme park, and it has David Hasselhoff in it. And
Oh
you're
my
just fighting
God.
in a theme park with 80s music and David Hasselhoff being the DJ, and it's sick.
What?
It's so good.
That's hilarious.
It's so
this
good.
reminds me of an episode of Psych.
Yeah, and it goes through the eras. So the 90s one's called Rave in the Redwoods, and it's a 90s kind of cabin in the woods, kind of weird, like psychedelic on drugs kind of movie kind of thing. It's like I'd say it's like Halloween crosses with like 90s like drug raves. It's like that. It's like that kind of aesthetic's really cool. The next one was like a 70s kung fu movie called Shaolin Shuffle, and that was like pretty epic.
Shuffle.
Then you had Attack of the Radioactive Thing, which was like a 1950s, 1940s kind of classic monster horror film. And then they went and did like a 2000s kind of space horror, which was the last one, which was the shittest one. But cool ideas, right? They tried in that. Whereas in this game, you got a shitty campaign that wasn't in space, so poo. And then you got a zombies mode that had 3 objectives, which was sit in a corner, follow ahead, capture the rocks. What a game, dude. Like, I can't wait to capture some rocks. Fuck me. Fire Bobby Kotick. I'm done.
Fire Bobby Kotick.
But no. So no. Thank you for filling the section up, Hunter, by saying that Infinite Warfare deserved less hate than it got, and Vanguard should deserve more hate.
I don't think I said that.
It was implied.
No, you said that it was like was it better? Than
I
Infinite
asked
Warfare?
I asked how it was in comparison.
And I was like, "How dare you hate on Infinite Warfare?"
I wasn't hating on anything. It was just a question.
That had that had David Hasselhoff as a DJ in an 80s zombies movie. How dare you? But no, it's so good. Like, honestly, it's so god awfully bad. Like, Vanguard, fuck that. Like, genuinely. Like, even for Call of Duty standards, it's bad. I'm surprised. Like, this, I feel like this is the year where Assassin's Creed was supposed to have a shit game that came out as well, but Ubisoft was like, no, we're also harboring sex offenders, so we're just not going to release a game this year. You know? Like, I think, like,
I'm sure if they would have managed to shuffle out that Assassin's Creed as a service game or whatever they wanted to make this year, it would have filled the
Oh,
quota.
Cal, have you not heard about that? That's a thing.
I don't pay attention to any
The next
of those words.
The next Assassin's Creed game is called Assassin's Creed Infinity codename, and it's a games as a service game where they're just going to keep adding stories to it, and it's just an ever expanding game. Like, and it
Hooray.
sounds absolute.
I heard about this and I cracked up because I make fun of Ubisoft for only knowing how to do 2 things. They're generic open world games and then games as a service games that aren't very good either. And now they're putting them together.
Yeah, he's
Fire Bobby Kotick.
Like, why not
Fire
both?
Bobby Kotick.
Fire Yves Gilmour as well. The
That's
CEO,
him
the
too.
CEO of Ubisoft. They can both go, to be honest. Like, fuck me, dude. I still haven't played the other Assassin's Creed that came out, the one with the Vikings. So, you know,
I still haven't played an Assassin's Creed game.
honestly,
they're play 2.
Honestly,
or-
the old Assassin's Creed games are quite fun. They are actually quite fun. They're the kind of they're dumb fun where you can just kind of go around and have fun with it. Where it's like
You can go shank a dude and then hide in a stack of hay.
It's like
Nice.
childhood fun where it's just like you get to have a cool story of Ezio. And
The
then
knife
you can,
comes from your sleeve.
You've got a sleeve, like a hidden blade. You can go around jumping off buildings, stabbing people, sword fighting with basic like mashy combat, and then you can just go and act like a child
Just
and
push
run
R1
away.
and square.
Yeah,
and you win.
do a Naruto run away and climb up some buildings and parkour off the fucking roof of everything.
Wow.
They're stupid fun games. I also love Black Flag because you get to be a pirate. That's always fun. It's a good game. Literally, it was like, we've called it Assassin's Creed, but really you're just a pirate. You literally just, here's your ship, go fucking sail. I'm like, yes. And we will play the sea shanties the entire time, thank you. What a game. Anyway, Fire Bobby Kotick. And with that has been our show. It's a short one this week because literally fuck all's happened. We hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving if you celebrate it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I hope you had a good full week at work and 2 days off, like me. Sag.
Haha.
Yeah, sucks. Oh well. We'll see who's laughing when we have a whole. Oh wait, we don't have any holidays. Crime. Sag.
Aw. Feels bad.
Just a month till Christmas, guys. But anyway, all links are on screen. Shit! My links are on screen right now. I'm gonna leave my Switch off of there because I have just performed a fucking crime. We're just gonna wrap this up really quickly. I've just knocked a drink over, and I'm scared. I'm in danger. All links are on screen right now. You can go follow us on social media and all that jazz. But if not, go and follow us on Twitter at HotGamersOnly. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/HotGamersOnly. And hey, if you wanna look at our stupid faces. No, don't look at our stupid faces. Oh, just go to podcast services, look up Hot Gamers Only on Spotify, Google, whatever the fuck. I'm in danger.
We'll see you next week.
I'm gonna wrap it up. Have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo. Fire Bobby Kotick.